From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a major night on evenings late as big fortunes of stimulus are gotten by viewers, and one viewer is walking away with $20,000 in less than 30 days. We'll go over the massive third stimulus, fourth stimulus, and a lifetime stimulus that's still happening across the board. Huge sums of money, and it's all for you in tonight's recording. Plus, the latest details on the markets. It's a shocker of a broadcast. Tonight we have nearly, do you see this? 18 pages of notes coming on camera because it was a shocking week and a shocking month. In fact, it's the biggest performance of stocks in a one-month period since the Reagan administration, straight up. But a major series of companies are still downward guiding. And why is that? All the latest details across the board tonight. We have a lot of companies that reported, and we also have that personal consumption expenditure index released yesterday. That's a big indication of inflation. The latest on that. We have brand new housing data tonight. The latest details on the downward guidance in those numbers. Consumer confidence came in from the University of Michigan today as well. I have that breaking news in tonight's recording. Plus, we have the latest impact from the Federal Reserve with the raises the rates, and also what is it doing with the inflationary pressure for the American consumer. That's happening in tonight's recording. Plus, we have the latest details as Meta, Alphabet, the parent company of YouTube, missed this week. And Amazon minutes ago missed as well. The downward slide of tech implosion continues while other companies, you ready for this? Posting their best numbers today since 1927. What is going on here, folks? It's a very spooky market. It's Halloween, and it's only going to get spookier. In tonight's recording, we got a massive recording like none other of all breaking news. It's nearly 18 pages of notes from top to bottom, left and right, everything you need to know like none other. It's a 1 hour broadcast, so stay over this 1 hour broadcast for you with me. I have massive stimulus checks for you, massive breaking news about this economy, and it's totally different than what you and I was looking at less than 7 days ago. It's very confusing, but I'll analyze it for you and explain it to you, and you will be able to know it and earn it and learn it in tonight's recording, starting right now. Good evening, everybody. It's a big night along the land with massive stimulus heating up the big second half. Stay with me over this 1 hour broadcast here because you're not going to see anything like this anywhere in podcast media. It's 1 hour of breaking news, of benefit raises, your housing market, your unemployment, your fourth stimulus, all that and more. The breaking news on this evening's LA broadcast for October 28th, 2022 starts right now. How are you? Good evening. Boy, we got a major show tonight, and I'm not kidding. There's literally 18 pages of notes for tonight's broadcast alone, and it all starts right now. Apple was up 8% today as it beat on top and bottom. Intel up 11% as it beat on top and bottom, and Amazon down 7% as it missed. Confusing market it is. We'll analyze it in this recording tonight. But we start first with John Maloof. John Maloof became a member to this channel less than 30 days ago, and tonight is holding $20,000 in his hand of free rent paid for because he became a member of this channel. He's also watching tonight's show on a tablet that he got from Stimulus N on this broadcast. Why is this? It's called federal stimulus, FSCs, and it's different than anything you've seen before if you've never watched LALATE. Why? Because this is how stimulus is done now. You got to pounce like a purple hawk to get to these incredible sums of money. FSC, $300,000 of checks that viewers are walking away for. Now, let me make this very clear to you. It costs us a few dollars to become a member, and you could be holding $300,000. That's what's happening. And I'm going to show you all these incredible FSC checks in this 1 hour broadcast. Stay in the big second half because I'm going to go over every single one of the checks with you. Inflation relief stimulus checks, they're heating up as well. They're from your states. And finally, lifetime stimulus, because once your benefits go up, they never go down. But did you know that you're getting 4 raises, not 1? I'll have the latest details on that coming up in just a second. T-Mobile was up 7% today as the tech company beat and had its highest number since 2020 with that merger with Sprint. And then Etsy was down 3%. So what are we seeing today? We're seeing just a massive rally up out of nowhere on the heels of many thinking that there wasn't going to be a rally. This is not the Santa Claus rally because it's only Halloween. But Charter Communications gained 4% as its subscriber growth happened, and even McDonald's was up 4% when Morgan Stanley raised them to an overweight. Deckers, which of course is footwear, fell 4% when it missed, but the total news today was the following. The Dow up 829 points in one day, which is 3%. Can you imagine? This was the fifth consecutive week of the market up, and we've not seen that last since November 2021. In fact, the 30 stock index of the Dow is up 6% for this week. Since the month, 6% this week, which is the best performance in 1 week since May. And get ready for this one. It's on track to finish this month as the best month for the U.S. economy for the stock, for the Dow, since 1976. Yes, the Dow is on track to have its best performance in 1 month since 1976. This is insane because it was just, what was it, 48 hours ago they were talking about how bad this market is. Why is this happening? Let's continue with the data. Inflation really wasn't that bad in the latest data, but the earnings have not been that great, but also not awful, says Megan Hornman, Chief Investment Officer at Verdence tonight. When you're in the middle of that road, it helps the equity markets. I love that analysis. She's right. The inflation hasn't come down. The earnings are not that great with these corporations, but they're not that bad. And yet Amazon was down 7% today alone as it posted bad numbers. And Apple ended up, even though it reported weaker iPhone revenues, the stock was up 8%. And this is as other companies are really shocking. Caterpillar, what do you think what happened with them? Caterpillar ended this week with the best week it's had in a decade. What? Yes, that's what's going on. Caterpillar's up 15% this week alone. It has not done that since 2009. Caterpillar is not a very exciting stock. It's sort of like, a day at Mitch's Lobster Fest. It's just not very exciting. And what about the Fear and Greed Index? Is there such a thing? Is there such a thing as the Fear and Greed Index? There is. And I don't ever feature that on this channel. But CNN's Business Fear and Greed Index, of course it's CNN, it's Fear and Greed, it's a measure of different market index. And it showed 64 for August 19th, which for me is just deliciousness. Meantime, Edward Jones downgraded Meta, the former company known as Facebook, on concerns that it's not doing well. The stock is down 70% this year. Not 70% down for Facebook this year. How good is this market? This is now turning into the best month of the Dow Jones since 1976. Wait, did you read that right? I read that right. We have not seen a market do this since 1976. The Dow's up 14%. The last time it was up 14% was in January 1976. And the next other month that was better than 1976 was, guess what? 1896. The last time the market was any better than this was 1896 in 1 month. McDonald's, this is what we're looking for. Consumer spending and basic, blue chip. What happened on that? McDonald's beat on top and beat on bottom. And that's why analyst John Gloss said this is normally a defensive stock, but look at how great it's doing. The stock was up 2% this year, but then suddenly rose 3% just today alone. Did you hear that? 2% up the whole year, but then 3% up just today. Folks, this is why you can't miss a show of LA. I mean, if you're watching LA yesterday, like McDonald's, who cares? It's it's the same McDonald's as it was early this year. It's not up at all. It's up 2% this year. And then you miss today's show and you're like, McDonald's went up 3% in one day? What happened? I missed your show on Friday. No, you don't miss a show at all. I bet I'm going to recap this over the weekend. That is why you get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Does this look like a confusing economy? It is. And I'll explain more about it later in this recording. But first, let's turn to those incredible stimulus checks. The massive checks, of course, are those FSC checks, federal stimulus checks, made law in March. Viewers have got to them. Have you got to them? Well, I'm going to show you how to get them. Viewers are walking away with hundreds of thousands of dollars from this channel all the time, and it's your opportunity tonight to get them. Purple Hawks, pounce. And that's how you get checks, this landscape. You don't sit around and put your hand out and shake a tin cup. No, you pounce. And that's how you get those incredible checks. So let's go over what these FSC checks are right now. They are incredible. Federal, because they come from the federal government. President of the United States, let's start with the president. First, the president passed a series of executive actions in March, $100,000 of checks for you. Done by the president in March, they are absolutely incredible. They are what we call on this channel check A, B, and C. Single individual, $75,000, let's go get it. Married couple, $150,000, let's go get them. How do I get them, though? Well, I'm going to show you in just a second. Then came a Congress. They passed a wonderful bill that established more checks, E through K, bringing us to then hundreds of checks of FSC. Again, these are for the federal government in every U.S. state and every U.S. territory. They pay the bill. They administer the application. They put the stamp on the envelope. You want to become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, and get these incredible checks. Then I found you more checks, and they're all in the LALATE newsletter. Checks L, M, N, and O, P, and Q. And yes, a wonderful viewer, John Malouf, started less than 30 days ago, and he got Stimulus N this week. Stimulus N is the brand new tablet, and he's watching the show tonight on that tablet. And then I said, John, go get another check. Pounce like a Purple Hawk. You keep on bouncing. You keep on getting checks. Keep on applying for. And he did. And what did he get? $20,000. Tonight, in less than 30 days of less than spending $6 to become a member of this channel, he has $20,000. Can you imagine where in the landscape of the American public can you spend $5 and get $20,000? Can you spend $5 and get $250,000? Spend $5 and get $175,000 or $200,000. It's happening all the time on this channel, and I'm going to show you how to do it in just a second. In addition to those checks, we have ISC, Inflation Relief Stimulus checks from your state. They're not something to lead on, but they're something to follow up with. They're about $1,000. Then we have a lifetime stimulus, because once your benefits go up, they never go down. 4 incredible lifts that no one else is telling you except me, and I'm going to show you that in the big second half. We continue with the breaking news and why it's important to get that stimulus with the latest details on this shocker of a week for the markets. We are halfway through the earnings seasons for third quarter, and now what is the amount of companies beating and missing? So when you look at it, about 22% of the companies are missing on top and 33% missing on bottom, and 33% missing on top. When you think about it, that's actually quite good. So you mean 80% are beating on bottom and about 67% are beating on top? That's better, more beating than missing. Well, interesting across the board. The tech wreck, however, continues. If you watched this channel this week, you learned that Alphabet, the parent company of YouTube, missed. Then we had Amazon miss today. Meta missed really bad, top and bottom, formerly Facebook. And then Microsoft beat on top and bottom, but downward guided for cloud, and that was enough, and that stock was down as well. And the tech wreck has resulted in massive disappearance of valuations from the markets. I'll have that in a second for you. Actually, I'll have it for you right now. Amazon was down 9% right today. Intel was up 10%, and iPhone's maker, Apple, missed, but the stock was up 8%. Here is something that Anne's going to love as she's in the live chat. Costco is a beat. She would tell you, buy Costco, because that's what she loves, especially its pizza. Morgan Stanley says 2023 could be a special year for Costco. They say we don't think either are imminent, but we wouldn't surprise if it doesn't happen some point in calendar 2023. They think the company could see a major price hike in its special dividend next year, and they think the company is on track to a blow out 2023. International expansion, the concept in retail, the value proposition, they think it's pure indication of a great time for the American landscape. Well, wait a second. If Costco is expected to have a great 2023, which is the middle of the recession, then they're basically saying the consumer will still be in Costco even though we're in recession and inflation. Interesting. What do we learn about inflation? Personal Consumption Expenditure Index. What do we learn about recession? Gross National Product. And where is that? It's in the big second half. It's coming up in just a second. That was the breaking news on Thursday. But this is really shocking details. I'm going to end with this before I jump back on the stimulus. Friday ends something we haven't seen in a while. Friday's gains marks the start of a 5-day trading period, which historically has been higher, which always starts on October 28th. Let me tell you what happens. Starting October 28th, stocks generally gain about 2%, and that's over the next 5 days. And we've seen that since 1950. The next 5 starting trading days are actually the 29th, and this is as these insane numbers. We have not seen these numbers since the Reagan administration. What are we looking at? So far, the month of October, we are up 13.4%, the Dow Jones. The last time we saw that was 1987 during the Reagan administration, and the time before that was in the 1800s. Yes, the last century. Which is about when Mitch was born. In the big second half, we're going to go more over this incredible sums of breaking details of this economy, because I got to tell you got to know where this economy is, and it's getting very confusing. But let's go into something even more simple, which is your big stimulus. Big stimulus, and let's start with this incredible stimulus. Now, remember, the first 3 checks were done by the President of the United States, by executive action. And we're going to jump into those incredible checks right now. Great checks, and we start with the credible check A, B, and C. Check A, B, and C. Check A is a $6,500 to $12,000 forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. And that is a check that Spelly got. Just absolutely incredible. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. How do you get it? You go under this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Welcome to the incredible new members who have joined in the last 24 hours. There's literally 100 new members joining every 2 days. You do the same. You go down in that membership newsletter delivered from me to you, which I'm going to go over in just a second, till you see Check A. Click the link and go right in and apply. How simple could that be? I give you the links, you just apply. You're not done there yet. We'll get Check B. I love Check B, because viewers on average are averaging about 18 months of these checks now for Check B, and this is where big money is coming in. $80,000 happening all the time. Here's an example. Here is Frank Mancuso. He got 18 months of mortgage, 18 months of high-speed internet, 18 months of high-speed of utilities. Folks, that's not $10. He's getting thousands of dollars because of Check B. And it only cost him less than $6 to become a member of this channel. Why would you not become a member to this channel and walk away with 18 months of your bills paid by Check B? Why would you not? Another view out of Florida. What did she get? She got $80,000 to $100,000 from Check B. It's just happening all the time, and that's why you don't want to wait to become a member, because ultimately it may not always be around. You don't wait to become a member right tonight. You do it immediately. But we're not done there yet. In Check A, B, we got then C. And this is for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. You go down the membership newsletter, become a member. Then at Check C, I tell you who to call, what to say, and how to say it for that rent, for that utilities, and for that mortgage assistance. Now, in the case of Check C, I got 12 places for you to reach out to, so make sure you reach out to all 12 places. Let's look at some of the success stories for that Check C. Do you want $30,000 for rent? Well, then go get it. This is what viewers are getting for Check C. And then, do you want $15,000 for utilities? Well, then go get Check C. That's what Mark's brother-in-law got. Here's Mark. Then, Snap, the same brother-in-law, getting $250,000 over 10 years. Thereafter, we have the combinations of checks. Nieces was 23,000. She went to 50,000. Mark was at 50,000. He went to 166,000 because he got check B at 66,000. Lorraine was at 105, and then she went to 155. Incredible sums of money, and that is check C. In the membership newsletter for check C, I tell you who to call, what to say, and how to say it. Let's go over check B and check C together. Viewers of this channel are averaging about 18 months of checks being paid for them. And that is their mortgage or their rent, and then their utilities, which is about 5 checks a month. 5 checks a month at 18 months, that's 80 to 100 checks. That's insane, but that's what's happening. But check C is even better because I have 12 places for you to reach out to for those incredible 80 checks. That's why you want to become a member. Now, what do you want to do? Not only become a member, but make sure you subscribe to this channel, LA1, LA2, and LA3, and go into this video and hit that bell so you have all notifications set to all on. And the big second half, we're going to continue with these these FFC checks because we have 300 of them. Then we jump over to ISC and then a lifetime stimulus. But let's continue with the breaking news because this is important for you to know where this economy is. This is all happening today. You've never heard this before. And literally, this is what I have on camera today. Do you see how thick this is? It's 18 pages of notes just that happened in the last few hours for today. So what's important to understand is that there are highs and there are lows in this market all in the same week. And they're not just significant highs, they're astronomical highs. And they're not just significant lows, they're really bad lows. So Amazon today is at the lowest low it has seen since April of 2020. Also at historically lows are DaVita, Edwards Life Science, and Cadillac. Now, you'll recognize some of the companies on the highs, and the list on the highs is really long. The all-time highs, not just this year, not just this month, but we're talking about lifetime. They've never had their stocks trade these all-time highs, are T-Mobile. And I'm going to give you the year that they last saw these highs. In some cases, they've never had these highs before. They went public, and they've never seen their stock at these numbers ever. So, T-Mobile, all-time. General Parts, all time. McDonald's, all time. I mean, they've never traded at these levels. And today they're at an all-time high. O'Reilly, all time. Campbell's, 2021. General Mills, all time. 1927. General Mills has never traded stock at these levels since 1927. Hershey's, all time. Frito-Lay, all time, and PepsiCo, all time. Smucker's, 2016. Exxon, all time. Everest, all time. I mean, it just continues left and right. McKesson, Eli Lilly, 1952. It's Northrop Grumman, all time. It's just insane. And I look at this list and I think to myself, I need to pinch myself. Is this really happening? And why is it happening? I'll explain it to you in a second, but here's Wells Fargo explaining it to us. If you beat, you do well in this economy. If you miss, you get really punished like we've never seen. Wells Fargo says that companies that miss in third quarter earnings in the last few weeks have been punished worse by the markets than we have ever seen in a decade. While large cap firms are not in dire straits, poor earnings reactions suggest some of our early seasons are being really realized. We have never seen a penalty level like this in nearly a decade. And how about consumer confidence and sentiment? The breaking news on that right now. University of Michigan minutes ago released the consumer confidence and sentiment number for the month of October. Consumer sentiment, and this is the confidence of the consumer in the U.S. economy, actually went up. It showed it went up 1.3 percentage points from the prior month, but the consumer also thought the inflation is getting worse. That rose 5%. So the consumer is more confident with the U.S. economy, slightly, 1.3% higher, but they also think that inflation is getting worse. Oh boy, is that confusing? It should be confusing. Now, what do we know tonight? Let's pull out that LALATE worksheets. That LALATE worksheets is a wonderful page in the newsletter for you to keep track of all your stimulus. And tonight we know a lot new details about this economy. Here's that LALATE worksheet. It's a free offering for all my members. It's down around the third page of the newsletter. You print it out, it's a PDF. And tonight, what do we learn? Inflation hasn't come down. It's important to remember this data because inflation has not come down for the CPI. Let's be careful. For the CPI, the inflation has not come down. But in the second half of this recording, I'm going to go over the Personal Consumption Expenditure Index, the PCE, that was released on Thursday, less than 24 hours ago. And it came down. So this is getting exciting. Recession. So the former head of TD Ameritrade appeared on broadcast media yesterday, and he says the vast majority of the American consumers is feeling a recession right now. And while the recession is not everywhere, it will be everywhere. And you can also see in the big second half, the gross national product released yesterday. Are we in a recession or are we not based upon that number? I got to tell you, there's a lot coming up in this recording. Stay in the big second half. Federal Reserve. Any change with them? No. Federal Reserves continue to spike those interest rates all the rest of this year, all next year, and into 2024. The next page of the worksheets is very helpful for you. You want to keep track of all your incredible stimulus you're applying for, because I got a lot of checks for you to apply for. Over this broadcast, you're going to see nearly 300 checks for you to apply for. You got to keep track of them. In this wonderful table, you may want to print out multiple copies. Checks A all the way down to more. And remember, A and B are just alone 80 different checks for you to apply for. There are other pages in the worksheet, like the raise your benefits. You can do some calculations. Gas prices, that's interesting. Have you seen the membership newsletter? Gas prices, international price of Brent crude tracking higher. Let's make this clear. There are 3 different numbers for gasoline tonight. There is international price of Brent crude. 96 to 93 has been where it has been this week. That's decent. It's down from when Putin invaded Ukraine. It was about a 110. It's higher than we've seen it, which is we've seen it down to 90 and 89. But the second number, the AAA national average, has gone much higher, but it's not as high as it was a few months ago, so it's still down. And then what you're actually paying for. I got to tell you, what's the gasoline where you are? The gasoline here in Los Angeles is insane. I mean, every time that I tell you those other numbers are down, I think to myself, well, where are those other numbers? Because the gasoline in Los Angeles is $7 a gallon. It's $7 a gallon. I mean, and I'm not just saying in certain areas. It's $7 a gallon everywhere. And that's really why you got to get the stimulus. There's a lot of confusing parts of the economy in the big second half. We're going to continue with this stimulus. We'll pick up with those FSC checks that Joe Biden and the Congress has done. They're for everyone. They're here. We got them coming up in the big second half. Then we turned that inflation relief stimulus checks. And thereafter, the lifetime stimulus. With raises of your benefits, no one's teaching you or telling you except here on LALATE. It's a big second half, and we're just getting started. I got a lot for you, and I have a lot of money to go over. From the shores of San Marcos, California, all that and more as a Big Evenings LA continues in just 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues. second half from the shores of Santa Monica, California with massive stimulus. Purple Power, have you pounced? Well, you got to keep on pouncing because I got lots of stimulus for you in this big second half. Checks E3K passed by the president, passed by Congress, were huge, and they're still live today. And we're going to go over those incredible checks right now. You ready? I am as well. Check E is a wonderful $7,500 incredible check. It's just absolutely incredible. Then we have check F, $4,000. Check G is a huge 30% off. Then check H, $2,000. Check I is a great $8,000. Check J, $8,000. And check K, $14,000. Just absolutely incredible. And there you go. Then we continue over to check L, $100,000 of the loan interest free money. And then at check M, $8,000. At check N was where I was doing a broadcast recent days ago this week on mornings at 9 a.m. live on air. And I went to check N and I said, well, at check N, I have my favorite stimulus for you. I love check N. A brand new tablet, a brand new computer, a brand new laptop, and $100 and brand new free internet across the board. Would you like a brand new tablet? And then I looked up into the live chat and there was John Maloof. He said, I got it. I said, you got what? I got the tablet and I'm watching you on it. I said, excuse me? And yes, it happened. John Maloof was watching the show, and when I got to Stimulus N on a morning's LA broadcast at 9 a.m. recent days this week, he said he got Stimulus N, and he got the tablet, and he's watching me on the tablet. Imagine the wonderful feeling that is. Inspire other people. Jump in the live chat and post your success story as well. I don't care if it's $100. I don't care if it's $100,000. Because when you do, you inspire other people. Plus, we give guidance and encourage other people to do more. And that's what I did to John Maloof. Guess what I said? I said, congratulations. Now, go get some more money. That's what I always say. And he did exactly that. He turned around and he kept on applying and pouncing like as a Purple Hawk, as a member. And within just days, he got $20,000. Imagine he just paid a few dollars to become a member of this channel, got a tablet, and is watching his show now on a tablet, and then just a few days thereafter, got $20,000 of his rent paid. $20,000 for just a few days for a member? It's just so straightforward. Why would you not even think about this? Go out in this video, become a member right today. We continue then to Stimulus P and Stimulus Q, which is $100,000 of loan interest-free money, and Q is $8,000 of free grant money. And there you go. Those are your FSCs. Let's recap. First, what are FSCs? From the federal government, from Congress. They send it out, they administer it, they put the stamp on the envelope. The states have nothing to do with these FSCs because they're federal stimulus. They're in every U.S. state and every U.S. territory. Number two, largest check, $100,000. Smallest check, $8,000. Fastest routing time, 2 days. John started on Monday, and by Wednesday, he had $45,000. By Friday, he had $80,000 because he got 15 applications in and half approved. The next week, he had 2 family members, mom and dad. Each got $50,000 because of Johnny's help. Then he helped 20 neighbors and friends get $250,000 from this channel over the next few weeks. That is the incredible FSCs. What are they for? We have rent, we have utilities, we have mortgage assistance, we have home repairs, we have home appliances, we have the car, we have the internet, we have a little bit of something and everything for everyone. Then, with those incredible FSCs, which we want to lead on, which are the big checks, we got other checks, and these, in contrast, are from your states. They are inflation relief stimulus checks. And what are the common equations with these? First, they're about $1,000. Number one. Number two, they are direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. They're administered by your state. And number three, you can learn about them in the membership newsletter. Go down to check D like donut, click the link and opens up a brand new page. List the states, list the check amount, and list the website to go track it. It's that straightforward. It's the incredible stimulus D like donut, your inflation relief stimulus checks. Now, in addition to that, we also have lifetime stimulus checks. Lifetime because once your benefits go up, they never go down. Why is that? Well, as you know, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security or Railroad benefits, your benefits go up. But once they go up, they never go down. And you may know, because you watch this channel, that on October 13th, your benefits were announced to go up another 8.7%. but no one's telling you you're getting 4 raises. Let's explain why. Last year, your benefits raised up because inflation was kicking in then, and you got a 5.9% raise. Then, the latest raise of 8.7% will be on top of. Yes, on top of the 5.9%. Wow, but we're not done there yet. You're going to get 2 more raises on top of those 2 raises. The first one coming in 2023, announced in October, and then the next one be announced in October of 2024. Why? Because Jay Powell admits there's going to be inflation around for 2 more years. What makes this even better is that your benefits are going to go up every year into 2025 as the inflation goes away by 2025 and the cost of goods is cheaper. So you'll get more money, but it costs less money to live. And that is the incredible great news about lifetime stimulus. Now, it's important to understand when we're doing stimulus, you and I, is that you got to forget how stimulus was done in the past. Don't remember how you got a measly $600 check, 5,000 years ago. Focus on this is how you do it now, because this is how it's being done right now. And this is the big sums of money, which is what you need when there's a recession underway. But is there or is there not a recession? We learned a lot about that this week, and I had it during that short video, it's called a short, on this channel when it came in. And let me tell you the latest details that came in with that news when it was released, and my analysis on it tonight. It's the latest details on your inflation, your recession, as we continue in this big second half. It was the gross national product. The GDP for the third quarter was released, and it was a positive number. It was slightly higher than expected. So does that mean there's no recession? Let's recap. First quarter of this year, negative. Second quarter, negative. A recession is defined as 2 negative quarters of GDP growth. You got that. The first was negative. The second was negative. The third was positive. So does that mean there's no recession? Here is my reaction, and then I'll tell you what other analysts' reaction was. As soon as the news was announced, I went live on air, breaking that second, and I said the third quarter was positive. But I don't believe that because you have a third quarter positive after 2 negative quarters, you are at a recession. First, I say we are in a recession because we had those 2 negative quarters. Number 2, I don't believe that a positive quarter means we're at a recession. And I also don't believe that those people are accurate when they say we never enter a recession. So what was the reaction to the news when that GDP was released? Do people agree with me, analysts? They did. Most analysts said a positive number is sort of a misnomer. It doesn't mean that we don't have something that we currently have. And some of them had problems defining what the current status was, but they did not say that there is no recession. And they did not say that the positive number proves that there is no recession. Rather, what they said was we are either in a recession right now and it's going to get worse, or that we are heading into recession and it's going to be more manifest. Here's my takeaway. My takeaway is I go with the former head of TD Ameritrade, which most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. They have that long-term debt, they can't pay for it, and that's indicative of a recession. They cannot afford this economy. And ultimately, I don't want you to get confused by a positive GDP number, which is certainly possible to confuse a lot of people. Now, one of the most important numbers of the week was not so much the corporate earnings, which I obviously see with you is just a shocker. It was the Personal Consumption Expenditure Index released on Thursday. What is the PCE? You've been seeing this on this channel for several months. It's always released at the end of the month. It's a once-a-month data. It's an inflationary number, and it tells you where that inflation is right then. Why is it a great number on this channel? Because it's usually correct as a predictor of the next month's CPI, or the CPI being released the next month, I should say. On November 13th, approximately, the next CPI and then PPI will be released. But the Personal Consumption Expenditure Index released last Thursday is an indication of what that number is going to be. We've done this before on this channel, remember? Yeah. So, inflation has not come down this entire year. It has not come down. Loretta Mester, Jay Powell, everyone's talking about this at the Federal Reserve. They raise those interest rates, and yet it does not come down. And we want to see it come down at some point. First, let's go over what that PCE showed us 24 hours ago. It showed that it came slightly down, slightly less than 2%, about a 1% drop. It's an improvement, but it's not a big enough improvement. Now, what does that mean for you in the markets? It basically means that if that PCE holds up, which I believe it will, you got exactly what you wanted. We have been talking about this for over a year, that we wanted you to lock in your raise of your benefits when inflation gets that highest point on the mountain before it comes back down. You didn't want to lock in your benefits down here. You want to lock in your benefits at the peak of the mountain before it comes down. And that happened. If that PCE is correct, which I think it will be, it means that your benefits locked in on October 13th at the highest level of inflation, and that inflation is now finally starting coming down. Oh, so great. What a relief. I mean, we talked about this all this year. Swapping COLA for inflation, for stimulus. We want to make sure that you lock in that highest inflationary rate of a generation, because inflation will ultimately come down, and you got it. I want you to congratulate yourself tonight. It's a great feeling, and that's what Pro Power is all about, that great, incredible feeling. Which brings us back into the breaking news, and let's go to some housing data. And now you're not going to feel good. Pending home sales down another 10%. I mean, this is not a surprise. Housing data continues to be weak left and right over the last few months and starting in May. Pending home sales fell sharply in the month of September as higher mortgage rates came in. The number's down 10% compared to a 4% drop expected by economists. So it was a miss by a lot. Economists thought pending home sales would be down 4%. They were down 10%. How bad is this number? If you exclude the pandemic, which had a bad number in April 2020, this is the lowest number for existing home sales since 2010. Ouch. And yeah, 2020 was almost that last recession. Really quite bad across the board. Now, here is a confusing number. You heard all those all-time highs by some stock, major companies, highs they've never seen since they've ever been in business since the 1920s. But here we go. Microsoft this week ended down 35% from its. I'm going to show this compared to the all-time high. I'm going to give you the number compared to the all-time high, and I'm going to tell you how much of valuation is wiped away, gone, because the stock is down. Microsoft down 35%, gone, $900 billion. Apple, 22%, gone, $700 billion. But Apple did have a massive day today. It was up almost 7% today. Alphabet, the parent company of YouTube, 39% gone, and $800 billion gone. Amazon, oh boy, here we go, 50% down, and $941 billion gone. That's almost $1 trillion evaluations of Amazon gone. Meta, formerly Facebook, Tesla. This is Tesla. $537 billion gone. It's down 46%. And Meta, formerly Facebook, 75% of its valuation is 75% of its stock is down. I just said that it's down 75%. And how much of its value is gone? $820 billion. Consumer spending. Are consumers spending more than ever before? We've done this before. It's not you and I, but yes, consumer spending is higher, according to a brand new Bureau of Economic Analysis released today. And they're spending more, even though their income didn't raise any more during the same period. And this is sort of one of the problems we have. Caterpillar, which is a major indication of the strength of the U.S. economy, is sort of a good indication of home construction as well, because it's Caterpillar, downgraded by Deutsche Bank. Despite a strong quarter, there's simply not enough upside potential. Exxon beat, Chevron beat, that's not a surprise. All those gasoline companies continue to perform well. But Amazon, just a very bad miss today. A disappointing missed on top, missed on bottom. And here you go. Here's something I haven't had for you on Amazon yet. Gave disappointing guidance for fourth quarter. Yeah, it's not pretty good. Beat Whitman, chairman of Switzerland's Porta Advisor, said this market rally is really a breathing space rally. I don't know what that really means, but I love that quote. What's important to understand is that this market is really out of control, and that For now, it may likely go higher because historically the next 5 trading days are higher. Then you go in that Santa Claus rally of December, we could be going up a lot higher. Confusing market? Absolutely confusing. Will I be with you all weekend long to explain more about it? I will. I'll be with you with brand new shows this weekend, this Saturday and Sunday, going over the latest details on where this economy is and where it's going, because it is confusing. And there you go. Finally, my parting thoughts tonight. Deepest prayers and wishes to the Pelosi family. Paul Pelosi, the husband of Nancy Pelosi, was in their San Francisco home today and was violently attacked by a home intruder looking for her and attacked him. Struck to the head with hammers. It is just a horrible thing to report and a horrible thing to endure. He is not a young male. He is an elderly man over 80 years of age being hit with a hammer to the head. It is just horrific. The attackers were looking for Pelosi. She was not there. And the individual has been charged and is in custody. My deepest prayers for the Pelosi family tonight across the board. What's important to remember is that the midterm elections are just days away, and this economy really turned totally different direction out of nowhere. We thought that people were losing all their valuation stocks. Suddenly they're getting great valuation stocks. Bond market is still up. Housing market is not doing well. Inflation's still here. Recession's still here. So suddenly this market got very confusing, and crypto is trying to inch a little higher. I'm so excited to bring crypto back on the channel in late November, mid to late November. I'm excited to bring it back on. And if you want to see brand new shows on this channel, they're coming as well. The cooking show's coming to LA3 as well. The humor show's coming to LA2. That's in November. And I think we deserve a stock show, don't you? I think we deserve it all. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. The programming continues throughout the night. Evenings LA every night at 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock is countdowns, stream symbols at 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock is extra. 9 o'clock is sunset. And then the programming continues throughout the night before I rejoin you on early mornings LA at 4 a.m. Countdown at 7. And then live on air at mornings LA at 9 a.m. before we go into the noon at 11, and then the 1, 2, and 3 for the afternoon shows as well. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful evening, and stay with LA for more.